What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Thank you so much for being a part of my second channel. I know I don't post too many videos up here, but I'm going to do better. I'm going to start posting. Like I said, the reason why these take a little bit longer because I do research and I talk about the articles, whatever news is out on that particular stock. Now, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to go over that stock. All it has to do is relate to the EV sector and somehow. Basically, it can be a fuel cell company, it can be a solar company, just something related to the EV sector. Now, the stock we're going to talk about today is Plug Power. So y'all probably seen this news. This came around Wednesday. And they came out and said that it is going to reissue financial statements dating back to 2018. Today it said that it has received an expected letter from the NASDAQ stock exchange regarding delay in releasing its annual report. The letter from the listing qualifications department said that Plug is out of compliance with NASDAQ rules because it's the latest filing for the annual report ending in December 31st of 2020. Earlier this week, Plug announced it will restate previously released financial statements for fiscal years 2018 and 2019 in its quarterly filings for 2019 and 2020. The company added there will be no expected impact on cash position, business operations, or economics of commercial arrangements. So basically what happened was probably a very minor error because it's not going to impact cash position, business operations, and that stuff to that sort. But it is important to note, the delaying of their earnings for the last report ending in 31st of 2020, maybe because of this. Maybe they were going back, they were looking at things, and this delayed them producing their next earnings report. But we know that NASDAQ, they sent a letter saying, hey, you need to get your stuff together. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw it somewhere else around, they have 60 days to fix this. So 2 months, which should be no time for them. They'll most likely get that in. And if they don't, then they get delisted from the NASDAQ. Now, the chances that happen is literally probably 0 to none. And then we have this over here. Now, I brought this up on one other video. These lawsuits, class action lawsuits, they're filed all the time. They don't really mean too much, but this one basically saying that there's a lawsuit being brought against Plug. I think it's from the state of Massachusetts. Yep. And it's basically saying the reason why they're bringing up this lawsuit is because it made misleading statements to investors and failed to disclose that Plug Power would be unable to timely file its 2020 annual report due to delays related to the review of classification of certain costs and the recoverability of the right to use assets with certain leases. And then Plug Power is reasonably likely to report material weakness in its internal control over financial reporting. So basically, this class action lawsuit is being filed for investors, and actually, if you want to be a part of this, if you are holding Plug during this time before, I think it was, between November 9th and March 1st, if you're holding Plug, if you were holding Plug, then you can contact this law firm, and the amount you get probably won't be that substantial. It may be a little bit, but don't hold your breath over getting, thousands of dollars over this. But now we're going to look at the chart and just see what's been happening. Now, to Plug's defense, this move right here, I will admit, was due to the overall market. The overall market's been in a little rut, so Plug, like many other EVs, fell with it. So Plug is not the only one to see this chart pattern. So up until Wednesday, I think it was right here, this is the whole news thing. So this right here, you can call it whatever, but all of the EVs were basically falling during this time. We had the overall market falling. So Plug was not isolated with this move. This wasn't because of, people had insider information on Plug and all of that. No. So this portion right here, I would say, like I mentioned before, is the whole reaction to the restating the financials and, the NASDAQ sending a letter saying, hey, you need to comply or you're potentially getting delisted. So this was the reaction that happened in after hours. Plug gap down and then pretty much has been just staying stagnant ever since that original gap down. And I do expect that for some time, at least until they get this out of the way, and at least until, hey, they get their accounting stuff right, they release their reports, all of that, and then we can start to see what's going to happen. If they go back and they, fix the accounting error or whatever, and it's not anything substantial of them misreporting anything, then I do believe at the moment this will blow over. But that's assuming this is nothing huge. This is assuming they're not doing anything fraudulent. They just really honestly made a mistake and they're going to fix it. That's the best case scenario, and that's the most ethical and likely case scenario. Now, in the event that they go back and they're found to be port and certain fraudulent, that's when we can get ugly here. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. So we have to stay on the lookout for that. We do, and if that ever happens, I would imagine this stock does a couple more gap downs, to be honest with you, and potentially delisted. But I'm not raising any concern right now. I'm not trying to get anyone scared. We're just looking on the bright side, and I do think once they get this out of the way, once everything settles, and then the overall market, assuming that it permits, then we can get Plug to start uptrending, because I like the stock. I like the company. I like what they're doing. And I do believe it's still a $60 stock, $70 stock like it was up here. So we'll just have to take time. Stuff like this takes time. And then we'll just have to get through this. And then once we do, that's when we can see where Plug's heading. And if they are, using best ethical practices and they didn't lie on anything. So I'll keep updates on this on the second channel. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button. Thank you so much for being here, guys. And I'll see you in the next YouTube video.